Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. We are continuing on our way towards Beagle Point at the basically upper left corner of the galaxy over here. We've already passed through the Galactic Center on our way from the bubble back over here. So let's go ahead, get off the planet, continue on our adventures in the exobiology increasing thing that we're doing. I don't know why that phrase I had a really hard time putting together that phrase. Fortunately, the place that we're going next is right there, and we don't have to do too much in the way of getting around a planet. So, let's hop into the next system. If you're just joining us, the goal of this is to increase our exobiology as well as just grab as much exploration data as we can in a reasonable amount of time. As you can see, the planet that we're leaving had 5 biological signatures on it. If you did watch the last episode, I did go back and find the fungoida. It was in a relatively flat spot, so it didn't end up being too bad. Let's see, for those of you who are joining now, we hop into a system, we pop the discovery scanner just to, identify the bodies in the system. There's 7 in here, so it's definitely going to be worth scanning. We'll check the system map to see if anybody's explored anything, though most of the time I forget to do that because, the odds of people just having discovered anything out here are pretty small. Come to a stop, open our full spectrum system scanner. We're looking for Earth-like worlds, ammonia worlds, and water worlds. You can see that at the bottom right of the screen. But there's only 7 bodies in here, and they're all relatively kind of the same. So we're looking for biological signatures up in the top right where it says features. You see that it says geological, but we are looking for biological. So we'll continue around this. I don't really have a specific topic of discussion for this video. My schedule this week is a little bit weird because of the various personal things that are going on. And I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be able to record, so I'm basically taking every chance I can to record and scheduling out as far as I can this week, just because of the way that my personal life is kind of breaking down right now. I don't want to say breaking down, lining up, or it's the way it's being arranged right now. Just there's a lot of things going on, and there's just a lot of inconsistent. Okay. Right, there's a lot of inconsistency going on in what's happening in my life right now, and trying to schedule around that sometimes gets a little bit difficult when I'm trying to maintain a consistent schedule for my channel. So, just there's only a couple of days this week remaining where I could actually get recordings in. I already did my weekend, my quote-unquote weekend recordings. My weekend is typically on Wednesday and Thursday because of my wife's schedule. I try to be off when she's off. But then, there's she took some extra time this week because we're trying to get the house ready to go for us to move out of it. If you haven't been following the channel or following, anything that's been going on with me personally, I am moving back into my travel trailer. We are moving back into my travel trailer. She and I are. I don't want to give the wrong impression there. We're moving back from Mexico to San Diego again, so it's just there's no valuable planets here, and there's too many to scan because once we get past the 15-ish mark, it's just not really worth the time it takes to scan through the whole system. So it's just there's a lot of stuff we need to get done to get out of this house and then start getting all of our stuff moved into the RV, and there's some stuff that's coming with us and some stuff that's going else to other places, and it's just we kind of got to go through everything and figure out where everything is going. So she took some extra time off this week so that she could be here because, the vast majority of the stuff is her stuff, and, I can't really decide where things are going when it's mostly her stuff. Because I lived in my travel trailer for a couple of years before we got married, and then I kind of moved in with her in her apartment, and I only really brought the stuff that I was never going to get rid of anyway. So my part of it's pretty easy. I only brought the stuff with me that I'm going to keep. There isn't really anything for me to go through. All right, single body means that there was just a star, so there's no point in messing around with any of that. We'll move on to the next system. So, I guess my topic of discussion today is mostly just that, I have a really weird schedule this week, and it's kind of hard to, especially when, I recorded 3 episodes yesterday so that I could have my Wednesday and Thursday episodes just done, but then I realized because I woke up this morning and the plan that I expected to have for today didn't quite work out the way I was expecting it to, so I had a little bit of extra time this morning, and because I know that the schedule is just going to be really weird this week, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and do a full-on set of episodes as I would normally do for another day, and I'll just make these my Saturday episodes, because why not? because normally I schedule a day ahead. Like I'll record one day and then I'll schedule it for the next day. So when I record on a Tuesday, let's see, when I record on a Tuesday to get my Wednesday and Thursday off, that actually ends up being videos for Friday. I know that sounds weird, but if you imagine a calendar in your head and you realize I'm recording on a Tuesday, and then I record extra episodes for the recordings that I make on Tuesday publish on Wednesday, so it actually ends up being a full on recording day, and then Thursday and Friday end up being single episode days. If you care enough, you'll see it in your head and you'll understand it. If you don't care enough, fair enough. It gets a little bit complicated trying to keep track of how my schedule and all of that stuff works out, just because, you know, I don't publish the same day, I publish the next day. And that's for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, as I've said in the past, you know, I don't really want to get too heavy into doing the live streaming stuff because, you know, it locks you down to a specific schedule. You have to be there at the same time every day, regardless. It doesn't matter what you have going on. If you want to maintain your audience, if you want your audience to show up for your live stream, you have to be there at the same time every week or every day or whatever your schedule is. You have to be there or people are going to stop watching. So I want to be here we go, 2 biologicals. So I want at least 2. That one has 2, so that's good. We're gonna go to that planet and see what's there. So, you know, I've had people asking me about live streams, and while I understand that, you know, there's a decent amount of money potential there, if you can, primarily if you can be successful, if you can be a successful streamer in the first place, you have to have the kind of personality that can support that. I'm not convinced that I do. Another one with 2 biologicals. If this one has 3, we'll switch to this one, but okay. Let's get out of this. Hold on a minute. Here we go. All right. So we'll go to this one. I think what we might end up doing is just staying in this system and going to both of these planets because they both have 2. I mean, we might as well. So anyways, you know, live streaming would lock me down to a very specific schedule, and I'd have to hold to it. So recording and publishing the same day kind of forces you to do the same thing because you have to record in the morning so that you can get your videos out in the daytime. So what I try to do is I try to record. I want to keep this schedule that I've been holding, or I'm publishing several videos every single day so that I can continue building up the amount of content on my channel. I'm pretty sure that the number of videos on your channel does a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm pretty sure it catches the attention of the algorithm, because it wasn't until I had, you know, several hundred videos on my channel that the number of impressions that I was getting, that the algorithm was giving me, actually started really going up. And then the second part of that is just that, you know, I kind of have this idea in my head that there's a couple of different ways that you can become successful on YouTube. You can either produce extremely high quality content that's just way better than what everyone else is doing, and people end up sitting and watching it because it's just so good. Problem with that is that takes a lot of time, and you also have to have the kind of personality that draws everybody in, not just some people. It needs to draw everybody in. And I know I don't have that. There's people out there that are gonna like the way I present things, and there's gonna be a lot of people out there who don't like the way that I present things, because, you know, people like what they like. Oh wait, hold on. We need to stay in that so we can see where the heat map is. So, you know, that's the traditional way of trying to make it on YouTube, as far as, you know, what people try to tell you. You just have to make good content. The reality, Stratum, that might end up being extremely expensive. Let's get down here and try to see what's going on with that. Oh, I forgot to turn off the thing there. Sorry, I was responding to a text message. Hold on, I gotta... Getting text messages. Turn off the sound for that because it's getting kind of obnoxious. All right, here we go. So some of the stratum can be pretty. The stratum itself, there's one of the types of stratum is by far the most expensive one. is right up there at the top of the list as far as expensive data. So let's get ourselves down into, I mean, there's not a lot of flat patches here. We'll just pop down into here and see what we can get done. So, what was I talking about? I lost track because I got distracted by text messages and all that other stuff. Oh, personality. So, you know, the first way of making it on YouTube is just to make amazing quality videos that stand head and shoulders above everybody else. The amount of time and effort and talent it requires to be able to do that at this stage of the development of this medium is insane. You would I don't have the patience or the time, or, I mean, I have the time, but I don't have the patience or drive to try to create that kind of content. Especially when, you know, it takes you a week of solid work to create a video, you post it, and then nobody ends up watching it because, you know, you're nobody. Nope, you know, you don't have the clout to, you know, command that kind of attention. So the other way to do it is just to kind of try to brute force it. You just publish and publish and publish, and, you know, you're still trying to make good content. You're not trying to make crap. But at the same time, you're not trying to put the kind of time and effort in to try to be the best. You're just trying to put out good, watchable content, and you're trying to put out enough of it that just the sheer amount of content eventually gets you to the point where just random people watching your videos is enough to support your channel. So if I can get thousands and thousands of videos out there, you know, over the course of a couple of years, you know, hopefully just people randomly stumbling across my videos and getting shown ads will get me to the point where I'm making enough money. Stratum Tectonicus, that's the expensive one. Oh yeah, I'm really happy about that. Okay, that's really awesome. So we'll do this. We'll get the bacteria, because those are easy to spot, and then we'll move over to the other planet and see how that ends up going. Oops. Up. So yeah. So my philosophy for my channel has just been, you know, I don't want to create just pure crap. You know, I want it to be watchable. I want it to be enjoyable, and it seems like you guys, like, you know, those of you who are actually following the channel seem to enjoy it, and I'm happy about that. But my strategy is just to, you know, just kind of brute force it. Now, at the same time, I don't want to brute force it the way that streamers do, where they just get on all day, every day, and they're constantly streaming. That's not the kind of life that I want. The whole point of doing this is to try to get out of that daily grind of, you know, working a full-on straight 8-hour day. I'm trying to get away from that. Especially being straight up scheduled 8 hours a day, where I have no freedom. I have to go in at the time that they tell me to go in, and blah blah blah, all that. So, for those of you who have been asking me about the live streams, you know, I plan on doing a weekly live stream at some point. Once I have enough channel members who have selected the tier that gives them the ability to get the exclusive live chatting. You know, I'll definitely be starting up that live stream. I'm thinking, you know, 10. I think it's set to the gold members. Those of you who choose to be gold members will get the ability, the exclusive right to chat in the chat, so that, you know, I can interact with you guys directly. Because I feel like, you know, access to a creator should be something that is reserved for people who care enough to support that creator. My personal opinion. And, you know, part of that is just, if I'm gonna put in the time to, if I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of my freedom to block out a weekly time where you guys are gonna show up and watch the content, then, you know, I want it to be worth it for me. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if it's just gonna be continuous, if it's just gonna be, you know, if it's just gonna be the same, basically the same as my videos, except, you know, people get to chat with me, then I might as well just make the videos. There's no point. You know, that's just my point of view. I know people are going to disagree with it, and the problem is that we've all just gotten used to free entertainment. You know, nobody wants to have to fork over any money for entertainment anymore, and that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, I'm the same. I've been conditioned to be the same way. I'm rational enough to know that that's not reasonable, but it's just kind of the environment that we've created for ourselves right now. But, you know, most people don't think about the fact that the people who put this content out there for you still need to make a living. They still need to make enough money. Just like you, they're struggling to pay bills and try to create a life for themselves. And, you know, especially if you've been put in a position where you're really trying to do this full time because of elements outside of your control, you know, you're really going to be looking for ways to add money. Now, I don't want to, like, I'm not interested in being rich, to be perfectly honest with you. That requires too much work and effort. I want to make just enough money to be comfortable, so I'm not trying to, like, get everybody to just... I'm not trying to, like, be unfair to people or anything like that. It's just, you know, if you guys are gonna... If I'm gonna do things for you guys that are outside of what is comfortable for me to do, I expect a little bit of compensation for that. Just saying. I think everybody's like that. I don't think that's an what's going on here? I don't think that's an unreasonable position to have. Everybody pretty much does that. If you're going to give up your time in a way that you don't want to give up your time, you expect some compensation for that. So that's my deal about the live streams. I'm not interested at all in... I'm personally not interested at all in doing live streams, but I understand that as a content creator, it's kind of expected, and you know, a lot of you guys are going to want that if this channel becomes popular enough. I mean, I already have people telling me that they are, you know, they use my content to unwind after a long day because for whatever reason, the way I present my content is just appealing to them. And I truly appreciate that. I'm really glad that you guys find it, that you guys look at it that way. I never ever thought that anybody would tell me that, but I'm very grateful for that. So, you know, I don't want to completely ignore the desires of my community. However, you know, there are certain things that we all like to do, and there are certain things that each of us is different. Each of us has things that we like to do and things that we don't like to do. And, you know, sometimes you have to suck it up and do that. Sometimes you have to suck it up and do the parts that you don't really want to do. And, you know, for me, that's going to be the live streaming part. So, you know, the live streams will be free to watch for those of you who are subscribers and either can't or just really don't want to... well, we need to get off the planet because we got that one done. Those of you who can't support with a membership or just decide that you don't want to, you know, I'm not gonna make it to where you guys can't watch my live streams. They will be available. You just won't be able to chat. That'll be reserved for people who are contributing members to the channel in a way that's a little bit more direct than just watching the content. So that's the plan. All right, so let's check our system map so we can find the other... Is it this one? Yes. Let's see here. Let's get out of that. How far away is it? Not too bad. Is it not? Why is it not switching over? Alright, that's annoying. Get ourselves lined up with that, and we'll go find out what's on this one. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be some more Stratum Tectonicus. So... I know I tend to ramble on a lot when I get on these topics. It's mostly just because I'm trying to make sure that there's not a lot of dead air in the video. Because I don't do a lot of video editing, I don't do any video editing for this particular video series, I have to kind of just ramble on until my brain stumbles on another topic. As you can see, we've kind of switched. They've been sort of related, but I've mostly just kind of meandered from topic to topic as we started this series. So... I'm not even really sure what I'm going to call this episode at this point because I think I've talked about 3 different things. And I don't even remember what I was talking about. I know I talked about live streaming. I know I talked about... I don't even remember. We're going to go get this biology here on this planet, and then we'll go ahead and end up calling it an episode. But we just got to get over there and actually get the scan done. The only problem with leaving a planet is it takes a long time to get out of the gravity well over there. So... I'm really happy that this series has turned out to be, you know, extremely popular compared to the other stuff that I've been doing. I was trying to do Microsoft Flight Simulator for a little bit. I did several of the bush trips, and you know, people just, or I did a couple of the bush trips, and just it doesn't seem to be taking off. And I got to the point where I'm just like, I don't really feel like doing it anymore. So I started a Minecraft series now. We'll see if that... I'm trying to test different things. I'd like to have a few different mainstay games that I do so that, you know, it's a consistent audience and I can have consistent engagement, or at least relatively consistent engagement with the work that I'm doing. So obviously, if this continues to pull in a crowd, I'll continue doing this indefinitely until you guys just get tired of hearing me. And then, you know, my hunting content I'm going to do as long as I have new stuff to do, because obviously I still have several reserves that I have to get through. And then after that, I want to try to like work my way into getting diamonds of everything if I can. You know, maybe I'll stumble across a great one, but I'm certainly not going to try to grind for that. That's a lot of, no, I'm not trying to do that. So, you know, it just really kind of depends on what my viewers end up actually watching. The hunting content is still my second most popular when it comes to looking at the metrics and everything, so it'll definitely stay in the lineup for a while. Not sure what's going to end up happening with my truck simulator game. Like I just said in that game that the goal is to just get one of every truck, and then, you know, oh, I'm way outside the window there, is to get one of every kind of truck, and then that'll probably be kind of like the we won the game condition for it. It just kind of depends on, it kind of depends on if it grows. If it never ends up growing, I'm going to give it time to go, but if it never ends up growing, oh, hold on.
Server scanned by 50%.
Getting another text message. So we got Bacterium and Stratum. Ooh, I think we might be getting a lot more money. Okay. Let's get the Super Cruise Assist turned off. And then we'll get down there. If you know, I'm going to continue the trucking thing until either I just really get tired of doing it, or, you know, well, obviously, either we're going to get to the end of it, people are going to continue kind of watching it, and then I get to where I have at least most of the trucks, and if it's just not going anywhere, then obviously I have to find something else. I'm still kind of having fun doing the trips, so for now I'm going to continue doing it, but it mostly just depends. Everything when it comes to a YouTube channel depends on what are people going to watch. As much as you want to play the games that you want to play, you also kind of have to make sure that, ooh, we're going to go down into this big one here. Because usually you find this stuff inside of these craters, you have a much higher chance. Based on my anecdotal experience, I seem to find a lot more stuff inside these craters than I do anywhere else. So, you know, you have to create content that people are going to watch. It's all good and well to play a game that you have fun playing, but if nobody's watching you play it, then from a business perspective, you're wasting your time. And it's just kind of the way that it works. Why is my throttle just kind of locked? All right, there we go. So we'll find the Stratum here. I don't know that I'm going to... I mean, if we see bacteria like we did on the last one, like if it's all the same stuff, then we'll go ahead and grab both of those, but for now, I really just want that Stratum, because I'm almost I don't know if I'm positive, but it's in the same area, and it makes sense to me that Stratum tectonicus would be the same thing. I don't know if that looks does that look the same as what we just had? I don't remember. I wasn't really paying attention.
Landing gear deployed.
Fortunately, this crater is relatively flat, so it should be pretty easy. Oops. And then I say that, and of course there's nowhere to land. Alright. So let's get all this Stratum scanned. And then as we move around, I'll keep an eye out for the... I already saw bacteria. It is a relatively different color, but I may do that off camera, because we're already at 23 minutes. And it's going to take us a little bit to get all the Stratum Paleus. Okay, so the Tectonicus is like the really expensive one. I don't remember how far up the list of Paleus was. But ideally, because this crater isn't all that... Yeah, see, there's the bacteria there, so it's relatively easy to see. Try not to crash. Should be far enough. Alright, let's get this one scanned. We'll go a little further down. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the bacteria on my own. I'll leave you guys in for this part of it, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. I'll get the bacteria part on my own. It's not gonna be... None of the bacteria looks particularly interesting. They all look pretty much the same. It looks like a brain texture on the ground, and sometimes they're just different colors. Even some of the ones that are more rare and interesting, they all look the same. You can't tell by looking at them that they're any different. All right, yeah, this over here should be good. So anyways, let me get on the ground here. We'll scan this and go ahead and close out the episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. If I can find a place to land. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out to as many people as possible. The more we can grow this channel, the more motivated I will be to continue making this content. And, you know, we can have awesome discussions in the comments about what we find and what we're doing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button. Check out the list of features or perks that will become available to you depending on which tier you choose. Your support is greatly appreciated and is a critical component to helping me become a professional YouTuber. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight, and I'll see you for the next one.